So we have a few minutes for questions, comments, observations.
Hello, everybody. My name is Angel. Thank you for your presentation. I think it was an amazing example of IPD application in Peru. Congrats for all. My question is, for all of you, what do you think it was the principal barrier to achieve a IPD application in our project? Because I think it's the first of the second application of IPD in Peru, and I want to know what is the principal barrier. I don't know it was in the contract phase, in the design phase, or in the construction.
Hello. Thank you very much for the question. I think that the first value for us as the owner, right, is to change the way that we are managing our projects. Before going to the IPD contracts, we had not so good relation with the contractors because we are just expecting the contracts to send the claims per claims in order to increase the value that they could get from different contracts. But the way that we are doing that from the IPD management, that changed completely, because now in order to increase the profits from the contractor and also to increase the benefits from the owner, we can get that from optimizing our projects and sharing the results between all the parties, and extend that sharing results not only with the contractor but with the supervision, also with suppliers as well. So it's a building a friendly relation with all the stakeholders in comparison to a kind of conflict relation before that IPD project. Omar, you want to?
Yes, I believe that one of the key of the success is that most of the main stakeholders know BDC, know IPD, they are aligned in that new mindset, but the rest of the team are very traditional, and that was always a very complicated barrier. We are working with the other companies, suppliers, designers, to help us to manage that project in the wave of the collaboration. No? I understand that this is one of the main barriers, and we are working in that, no? With events like that, with BDC programs and action like that.
Do you want to answer?
No, I just want to compliment saying that, the University of Lima being pioneers in this kind of implementation, I think the hardest challenge that I saw as an architect was to get the full supply chain aligned with the new way of working. I mean, I think the local industry, little by little, is getting into this new way of doing things. And when they see the results, not only in time of implementation, but cost savings and overall, successful of the overall project, the companies are aligning into this new way of doing things.
I was going to ask you, since you've done so many university projects around the world, what was really the most significantly new things here for you, and how were you able to take advantage of this different mindset and also tool set on this project?
I mean, I think, because of the specific conditions of what's going on right now with the University of Lima, it was a learning process for everybody involved, because we had to define new ways of doing things. Our design thinking had to also be adapted to what's happening locally. Design process, we in New England, we're based in Boston. Our main enemy, not only gravity, but it's water. We have to be fully sealed. Whereas in Peru, because the climate is very mild, the design process for us was teaching, our teams to be able to understand, the local environment. We were talking about since the get-go, okay, what's going to be the R value of these, vapor barrier, and suddenly those things are available in Peru because there's no thermal breaching. The temperature is like super mild. And for us was trying to adapt to what's available locally and being able to share, knowing from the client standpoint what's available, what is required to do. So we also have to adapt our way of doing things, because it was a new first time for everybody, learning how to do things in Peru.
Thank you, Martin. I'm Josh. I'm actually a co-founder of a construction tech company. And I was really interested in IPD when I was a student at Stanford. And I was actually overwhelmed with how hard it was when I got into the industry to take any integration learnings and pay them forward into other projects. And so I guess my first question is, are you guys kicking off any new IPD projects based on what you've learned? And if not, how are you taking the lessons learned and the integration practices that you've learned and applying them towards new projects?
So what we are building in the University of Lima, it's acknowledgement to apply to the next building, right? That's why in my presentation, for instance, if you remember, I called Plus IPD, where we intend to take all the previous experience and continue working and making more collaborative contracts, because it's the first IPD contract that we did. So there are a lot of things to be improved. So we know what and where to improve and want to apply to this second building that we are about to start by the end of the end of this year. And we have in our schedule to build one building per year. So from the next 20 years approximately. So, and every building has more and more knowledge about VDC implementation, IPD implementation. Now we are going to artificial intelligence and digital twins, and also we want to take care more about the issue about the net zero as well. So a lot of things to be implemented and improved from now on.
So how do you do that? You just keep hiring the same people, or do you have some procedures that
that was going
everybody
to be
has
my
to
question.
follow?
Thank you.
No, we needed to change a lot of procedures in the University of Lima, because before this contract, it wouldn't be possible to contract a contractor or a supervision under a collaborative contract. So several regulations, internal regulations, procedures have been changed since the day one when we start implementing VDC. So we, of course, if you have a contractor who is working well, you would like to continue with that contractor, but we also want to call for several different contracts, because, as I said, our goal is also to contribute to our community. We are in university. We went to teach the future engineers, future architects, and you also want to change the way that we are doing construction in our entire country. So we have some overall view about what we could support also at state level as well.
Yeah, that was one of my questions, Martin. So
Well
they were hiring the same people again. But I assume that you've established a target cost on the contract or by the beginning of the construction, I don't know, the design, right? So my question is on the sense of, have you decided the percentage of the sharing of the savings, and how was it done? Which criteria have you used for that? And if you actually had an IPD contract, or if it was more a culture of integrating project delivery and not essentially a contract?
That savings was a part of the contract. There are a lot of different criteria to share the savings. No, in general, if you suggest a change with a proposal of engineering, all the savings are 50% and 50% without clients and general contractor. We include suppliers and specialized companies to be part of our part to have better conditions to obtain that savings. There are another kind of savings that was only for the client for different reasons. If we retire an entire, I don't know, activity or entire scope, that have a different criteria of sharing the savings. No? Finally, in the project, the saving was near to 60% for the client and near to 40% for the general contractor.
Thank you.
All right. We should formally close this session, so we have a short break before the last session of the day. So thank you, team from Lima. Congratulations on the great building and success for the future projects.